Human beings. Hunted. Their muscle carved off bones. Sliced into meager portions and served to a starving populace. A sinister secret. All in service to a quota designed strictly to strike fear into already subservient hearts. All in service to a quota that accomplished nothing beyond the creation of a debilitating disease. The tick. The tick is what they called it. An apt name, given the condition of those burdened by it, many of whom we have taken into our fold. And how did Tower leadership decide to handle this tick crisis? To keep those afflicted from discovering why they were sick. And when that misguided strategy failed and the truth spread like lush Spanish moss, what did these heartless scoundrels do? Did they spare no effort and exhaust every resource to correct their wrong and treat those poor afflicted souls? No. No, they did not. What they chose to do instead was to exile those sick with the tick, condemning them to certain doom, even though their own policies planted the seed for the disease in the first place. Never recover their sanity. You made it. I didn't doubt that you would, of course, but my patience was beginning to be tested. Let's start with a formal introduction. You are the tourist, and I... You made it. I didn't doubt that you would, of course, but my patience was beginning to be tested. Let's start with a formal introduction. You are the tourist, and I am Jean-Baptiste. JB for short. There now, we can proceed to matters of more profound consequence. It is my understanding that this gizmo here would be of use to you. It's all yours. Consider it a gift. And when we are finished with our conversation, I will provide you with the missing dial that you'll need to operate it. Sound fair?
Keep it brief. I'm busy.
I won't take much of your time. You have my word. We all have business to attend to. Now, I prefer to play it straight. Once I received word that you were collecting these devices, and to what purpose, I saw an opportunity to connect with the city's most illustrious survivor and have a chat about the reserve. So I made it a priority to acquire one through various means I will not divulge. And now here you are. It is my hope when I am through, you will see the reserve for what it is. Nothing more than a crutch holding back the people of this fine city from regaining themselves.
You're a cocky bastard, JB.
Not cocky, convicted. But I also know how to humble myself when dealing with someone as formidable as you. So my apologies if my demeanor seems brash. I'm a man of particular predilections.
Don't worry about it. Say what you have to say.
I am a firm believer in the greatness of humankind, our ingenuity, our art, our towering scientific achievements. This reserve nonsense, even if the rumors about what may be inside it exceed our wildest dreams, the bounty will only prolong our addiction to survivalism as the only path in life. It will stifle our creativity. It will eventually lead to our withering doom. Now, this is the proposal that I have for you. Continue your search for the reserve, and when you unearth it, which I have the utmost confidence you will, destroy it. These 4 numbers will disable the entire flood contingency system. Mother Nature will rage through the reserve and take care of the rest. 1006. Flood the reserve and set us all free. Give this still glorious city the jump start it needs to refocus on something much grander than mere survival. Grant us hope, tourist, and thank you, most sincerely, for hearing me out. And let's keep this chat between us, if that's all right. I'm not sure my comrades would see the big picture benefits of removing the reserve from the equation. The floor's now yours, my friend. Anything on your mind that requires clarity?
I'm curious about the reclaimed.
Yes?
What's with the gory rituals?
First one was a man I knew well in my brief tenure as a tower grunt. I'd even called him a friend. Tripp was his name. Snuck up on me in the middle of sleep. Tried to slit my throat. Still carry the scar. Well, long story short, Tripp was no match for me. I maimed him. Something awful, really. And I dragged his body about a mile all the way to the southern bump, which at the time was the most highly trafficked exit from the tower. I found an old oak, hung him upside down from it so his lifeblood would spill rapidly into the soil, and upon his chest I pinned a note that read, "Keep 'em coming." And just like that, I became the most feared boogeyman Nola has seen since the Axeman. Once I had fear on my side, the rest just blossomed naturally. Those with nowhere else to go wanted what I had, so they listened. And they learned. I empowered them. That's all people want. A sense that their lives still have some meaning.
The Reclaimed have made quite a mark on the city. How did the movement get started?
After my exile from the tower for insubordination, I took to raiding their supply lines. Rather efficiently, I might add. No one ever got hurt, and other exiles clamored to join my operations. Needless to say, Mama and her cohorts were not pleased with my exploits, and they sent several communications asking me to cease my pillaging or there'd be consequences. Of course, I refused, politely. No one was gonna dictate the terms of my existence anymore. But it wasn't until the tower started sending thugs out to track me down and end me that I decided it was time to send a message of my own.
I have some other questions for you, JB. I want your perspective on the Reserve.
Uh-huh.
Why choose me to destroy the Reserve?
Because you're the one best equipped to find the accursed place, and I trust you will do the right thing when you do. Call it a hunch.
If the rumors about what's inside the Reserve are true, wouldn't it benefit the Reclaimed to get your hands on it?
You are absolutely correct. But once those supplies are gone, then what? The same old, fruitless pursuits. And there is the very distinct possibility that the tower gets to it before we do. The only way to guarantee this city will move forward in the proper direction is to remove the Reserve from the equation entirely.
How did you find this code to flood the Reserve?
One of my scouts came across the corpse of a National Guardsman in Rampart High School. The body had a manual for a bunker's flood defense system. I put two and two together.
I have some other questions for you, JB. I've heard enough.
Fair enough. Then we are finished here. The dial, as promised. Godspeed, tourist.
We finally meet, tourist. After all the hype, you're not exactly what I expected. I'm Georgia. Maybe you've heard of me, maybe not. I could give two shits. What does concern me is the man inside the building you just stepped out of. We tracked him here. Heard the commotion upstairs. Did you kill that fool?
JB is dead.
The tide has fucking turned. Thanks for doing what needed to be done. From this point on, just keep steering clear of the tower, and there won't be any issues between you and me. I'm not a fan of issues, in case you couldn't tell. And when this shit with the Reserve pops, I'll make sure tower troops have orders to steer clear of you.
The world is a much better place without that loud mouth. You're like a fucking...
My dear George, we have gone too far. This has to stop. We are not cruel. No matter what our community is facing right now, we have to remember our promise to the people. I understand the need to pivot when faced with a crisis, Georgia. Those responsible for the atrocities that led to the disease were brought to justice. We have to put the lessons we learned from all that dick business behind us. When I first... that those animals were serving human flesh to our most desperate, simply to meet hunting quotas. I was enraged, but as difficult as it may be, I had to pivot. I had to try and understand the desperation that drove them to hunt human beings. Maybe our scavenging quarters were a misstep. Yes, punishment was warranted, but we cannot allow those horrors to color all the choices we make moving forward. We must help people, not abandon them. I have been changing course and making difficult decisions a majority of my life. We can figure this out. We can get this community back on the right track. I may be a bit compromised these days, but my mind is as sharp as ever. You need to be patient, and you need to trust me. You know, I have always thought of you as the daughter I never had. Have I ever steered you wrong? We will return to better days. Your mama.
Fuck. Oké, optie 2. Poging 2. Oh, dat betekent dat ik naar het blauwe huis opnieuw moet gaan voor die code. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck.
You made it. I didn't doubt that you would, of course, but my patience was beginning to be tested. You made it?
Watch it.
Allee. Erg tijd.
I'm back, Casey. Ready to repair the pump. You still alive?
Yeah, alive, but almost swimming. No turning back after this, tourist. We have to get after it. I'm running out of time. You prepared?
No. Need some time.
Not much time to spare, tourist.